What's up, everybody? Welcome back to ZFR Gaming, and I hope you guys have been having a good few days. I know it's been a second, but we are back here again today with the next addition to the Warframe builds. And yes, I'm calling them Warframe builds again. You guys are gonna hate me for changing the name so much, but whatever. You know, I'm trying to get in order. I'm trying to make sure the series is good. And last time I realized, even though the story stuff was fun, I did a little bit too much of it. So we're going to take it back a step and we're going to do the story and a little more of the build this time. So, without further ado, let's get straight into this. This time around we're going to be talking about the Berserker. Now, the Berserker is a really interesting character. Her story starts out as her being one of the youngest Warframes to almost achieve the rank of a master. But before she could do this, she was actually captured by Alit V, and as we all know, she's tortured until she eventually becomes what we know as Valkyr. And pretty much during her being tortured by Alit V and stuff, she actually did lose a lot of herself in that. Like, her mind is pretty much gone, or it's all over the place. So she's really broken and doesn't really have anything left of her old self left. So pretty much at this point, she's forgotten how to fight. She's forgotten how to do everything just about. She's really weak. She's just not the Warframe she used to be. But luckily for her, as we all know, the lesson actually managed to defeat Alit V and saved her from his clutches. So, of course, the lesson takes her under his wing and he helps her regain control and slowly starts to bring her back. But before he can fully bring her back from, the edge of, just falling into that pit of darkness or whatever, however you want to say it, he actually does go missing, as we know in his battle with the Corpus. He mysteriously, did I say with the Corpus in his battle with the Grineer? He actually goes missing during that. So, after her master goes missing, it all just comes out. Like, she can't hold it back anymore. She's angry at everything. She's angry at the world. It's just screwed her repeatedly. She used to be such a proud and powerful warrior, and now all of that has been taken from her for just because some mad scientist wanted to do an experiment. So she's pissed off, and instead of getting through this anger and getting over it like the 10 ways says you should do, she instead uses this anger and harnesses it in order to fight her enemies. So with that being said, of course the Berserker goes out and fights the Grineer and the Corpus. The Grineer, because her master has such a powerful hatred for them, and the Corpus because they screwed her life up to begin with. However, one of the bigger things she was known for in the Tenno was hunting for the Stalker. The Stalker is the #1 suspect for who kidnapped her master, and she is desperate to find him and even find out if her master is still alive. So with this being said, she goes across the system hunting different high value targets, which would be the assassination targets in the game, and upon killing these, she catches the Stalker's attention repeatedly. At this point, she has faced off against him multiple times, but has not managed to defeat him yet. But the Berserker won't give up. She's desperate to find her master. She's desperate to get answers. She's desperate to become the most powerful Tenno once again. So with this being said, let's get into some of the more finer details that we have here. For one, the personality of this character, I've already said she's a very angry character. So she's going to be really rash in a lot of situations. She's going to run in head first, not always taking the smartest route. but she's not completely arrogant like the tank was. She still knows when to, get out of dodge, when to back off, and reevaluate the situation in front of her. So, with that being said, she is going to be a kind of nicely balanced character, just a very aggressive playstyle. For the most part, she's going to use her shotgun to get up close to enemies' faces and, of course, melt through crowds of enemies. She's using the Tigress most of the time, so that's going to make close range combat really easy. On top of that, she has the Sestra pistol from the Corpus, which is going to be what she uses at longer ranges to combat those types of enemies. Then, the most important weapon to this character is her whip. And this is the most important weapon to her because a whip was often used on her when she was being tortured during these experiments. So, in a way, she kind of gets pleasure out of using the whip because it's as if she's repaying her enemies for what they've done to her in the past. Like I said, kind of some dark stuff with this character, but what can you expect? She's been through a lot here. As for her abilities, she's mostly going to be using War Cry, Hysteria, and Paralysis. She's going to use Paralysis when she gets surrounded by enemies and, she's kind of getting backed into a corner. That's what she's going to use to make them back off a little bit so she can actually get out of there. Because remember, she's not like the tank. She's not going to stay and fight that losing fight. And War Cry, she's only going to use that when she really just wants to go in on some enemies, go in, get some damage done, but she doesn't want, go all out yet. That's going to be what War Cry is used for. And Hysteria, of course, is just going to be the complete carnage on everybody when it needs to be done. There are just those moments where you have too many enemies around you can't get out. It's a last ditch effort, so she will use Hysteria, she will rage out on those enemies, and she will destroy all of them. So, moving on from that, to go with that, here's some of her stats that I want to put up there, or her mods rather. This character's mods are going to be very important, especially since she has such an aggressive playstyle, but also has some other weaknesses, such as not being the most, durable character in the game. So, with that being said, we're going to mod her around that a little bit. As you can see, I have Intensify on there. It's kind of a low level one, but if you have a higher level one, use it. But that's going to be just to make all her powers do more damage, which she definitely has a lot of damage dealing power, so make sure you definitely have that on there. That's a must. If you're one of those people who want to choose between Vitality and Redirection, I definitely would go with Vitality for this character, simply because she just has so much armor. That Vitality is going to be more useful in the end. All you have to do is just keep your shields up as much as you can. And of course, I do recommend you do add a lower level Redirection on there, just in order to, have a little more shield, so it's a little bit easier to stay out of those sticky situations where it's just cutting into your health and armor. So, yeah, that's very important. And another choice you can make is Steam Line and Flow. I believe with this character, having both of them is probably the most important part of this build. For the simple fact this character is going to use her powers a lot. She's going to rely on them a lot. So you're going to need to have a lot of energy in backup, and you're going to need to use it well. So Streamline will help you conserve on the amount of energy you use with each time you use a ability and stuff, and Flow will help you just have more energy overall, so that's great. And of course, last but not least, Steel Fiber is going to help you build that armor up even more, help this character feel even just a little more tanky. So make sure you put these mods on or something similar to this for his character, you can put a better aura mod on there. I didn't have a matching one, but of course if you have one, throw it on there and you can fit even more stuff on here. So yeah, that's the mods for the Berserker. And last but not least, we're going to talk about a companion for her. So the companion, like, you don't really need one if you want. Like, I didn't really run with one except for the little sentinel that scans stuff. But if you really want, I would say a Kavat would make a good companion for his character. I feel like she definitely is a good fit for it. You know, cat Warframe, cat companion. Why not? So there's that. And last but not least, I know I just said it, but I actually did forget this section. Then there's the customization. Here's the color palette up on the screen. If you want it for this character that I used, you can use any color palette you want, of course, but this is just the one I had, and I didn't really run her with Skanas that much with capes and stuff, so if you want, go ahead and knock yourself out, but I just felt like the character looked fine without one. I felt like this wasn't one of those characters that needed one. So, yeah, that's pretty much all for the Berserker build, guys. Hope you guys really enjoyed this. I know I was kind of late with this episode, like a whole week late, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I might end up bringing the next one to you a little bit earlier, because I've already started working on that, of course. But we'll just have to wait and see. I might just wait till next Sunday and try to stay on schedule from now on. But, anyway, guys, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave likes and comments down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That really helps me out when you hit that like and subscribe button, guys. So, yeah, don't forget to do that. Leave that support. And I will see you guys on the next video. ZFR out.